The decision by some NFL players not to stand during the national anthem before games has taken center stage again, not only because of some players' actions last weekend, but also because you have one GM speaking out saying it's divisive. Coy talked with Michael Bennett, who's a player who sat last weekend.
Yes, exactly, Robin. Good morning to you. This Bleacher Report brought to you by Ford F-Series. Now, Michael Bennett said that the reason he sat last weekend for the national anthem was because of the tragic events in Charlottesville. They played a major role in his decision, and I asked him when we spoke, what was going through your mind as you watched those events unfold? I also asked him, how did you feel that it took President Trump 2 days to respond and specifically condemn white supremacists for what happened there? Here's how Michael responded.
I grew up in Texas where James Byrd was drugged by the KKK and some white supremacists back in the day. And so I grew up around that, listening and remembering those things and thinking about Charlottesville brought back those memories. It actually brought tears to my eyes to see people fighting and having the hate for somebody because of their color and because of that. So I couldn't believe that it took him 48 hours to respond. I thought he would have responded within seconds, and when it came on, I thought he should have handled it just as fast as when he's tweeting about Russia.
Other current players and other former players that I've spoken to have the same sentiment. We know LeBron James has spoken out about this as well, but that was the reason he chose to sit during the national anthem to help further the conversation about race and social injustice in our country. But let me show you some of the tweets we've been getting as we've showed this interview and the divisiveness it represents. Murray said, "Respect is never achieved by disrespect." Of course, sitting for the national anthem, many are offended by that. Ray said, quote, "Great interview. Michael Bennett, the voice of a true role model in humanitarian, dignity, class, protesting with substance and purpose." So Michael Bennett says he's going to continue to do this, Robin, and he's challenging others too. Make yourself uncomfortable. He knows it's not easy to sit for the national anthem. He knows that it offends someone, but his dad is in the Navy. Right?
That's important to point out.
It is important to point out. And he says, when I sit, I am honoring and remembering those values that this country was built on, and he wants to make people continue to have this conversation.
What about for the folks who still don't completely understand? So why the national anthem? Why sit during that? Like, there's a reason why people stand for it. Well, so can he explain?
Yeah.
Okay, I decided to sit during this anthem, and it's not that I don't believe in America, it's X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, he said it's hurtful, you know, as Colin Kaepernick has, to see that symbol. And some will say, well, how can you look at that symbol and not see the good that it represents? And there's different semantics there, but let's look at Charlottesville. You had peaceful protesters there who are looking at this statue and they're reminded of a time that was hurtful to them and to their race and their culture. And you have others who are looking at that same symbol, seeing it in a completely different way. So Colin Kaepernick, Michael Bennett, and others who are kneeling for the national anthem, they're just wanting to remind people that we're not yet where that flag is supposed to have us. Those concepts and those values, we're not seeing it every day, as those events in Charlottesville have shown us.
All right, thank you so much.
Welcome.
Appreciate it.